This is Patrick with New Jersey's Outdoor Adventures YouTube channel. I have something very special for you. Happier Campers back on the channel. I did a tour of one of these about 3 or 4 years ago and you guys loved it so much. Well, the manufacturer's come a long way since then. Now they have a studio model and a traveler, and they have kitchenettes and wet baths on the inside. Well, I met up with Trisha and Rob today and they're gonna give us a tour of their rig inside and out. So join us for the tour.
Patrick, thank you so much for having us here. I'm Trisha.
I'm Rob.
And we are the owners of the HC1 Studio model from 2025. Telling you a little bit about how this came into our lives. It was really my doing. I wanted a trailer, but I needed the trailer to be small so I can manage it on my own. And I needed to be able to pull with my car, which is a Tesla. Now, the other important thing I needed was a bathroom. And so I was looking at a remodeled, vintage, fun, awesome factor, maximum. And when I was speaking with Rita from Wanderlust, she actually thought of the Happier Camper being a great option for us. It was modern, it was new, it had the kitchen, it had the bathroom, and it was simple to pull. And so I fell in love with the aesthetics of it. I fell in love with Rita and the flexibility of all the options, but I had to convince Rob, who is an engineer and was really into the details of everything. So he wanted to make sure we had a quality product. And so I'm going to have him walk you through all the details that convinced him why this was the right model for us.
Well, I'm sure you guys are very excited to get inside and do the tour, but you know, the outside of the trailer, and I'll tell you, I'm an engineer, and this is the sort of thing where the details are important. And so let's take a walk around the outside. We'll show you some of the details from there, and then we'll step inside and show you the details from there. So first, just as obvious, we've got one of the Fiamma awnings. It's great. Kind of comes out, extends out 6 feet, 8 feet wide, so it gives us a really nice like living room here, space here. It's adjustable, so right now it's kind of flat, but we can adjust the poles up and down. So if it's raining hard, we can bring it down and get a lot more of the rain shed off of the area, or we can raise it up here if we need to here. Okay, coming around, you can see it's got a nice, the whole trailer itself is lifted up. And before I get that, let's talk a little bit about the trailer itself, right? The body is, of course, what's important. When we sat down and looked at this, the important thing for us was we need to be able to tow this with our car. We don't want to go out and buy a pickup truck or a large SUV or something just so that we can tow the trailer. We have our Tesla. We also have a Subaru Outback. So we were looking something that we could use those two cars interchangeably to tow the vehicle. So we needed something, the weight and the size was absolutely important. So the trailer itself, gross vehicle weight of 3,500 pounds, loaded as it's installed right now is 2,000 pounds. So that gets well under the tow weight of the Tesla, well under the tow weight of the Subaru. We've actually got no problem. We can load it up with the water and everything that we need to and still be fine, right? The body of the trailer, important to me, it's 100% fiberglass, end to end, all the way down, including the floor. So there's nothing in here to rot, nothing in here to rust. It's just easy to maintain for the whole life. It's also double hulled. That means that it's got a full fiberglass shell around the outside, but you can see it's a fiberglass shell on the inside. So for warmth, that's great. There's nothing in here to mildew, nothing in here that you have to maintain. I grew up around boats, and I look at this, when I first walked in, I went, this is a boat, but it's constructed just like a boat. The trailer itself is small. We live in New Jersey, driveways aren't that big, we don't have a whole lot of space. One of the things we love about this, we can fit the entire trailer into the spot where you would normally park a car. So we can drive it right into our driveway, still park another car behind it and make it all fit. So it's 13 feet overall. From a width, it's actually the same width as a normal car. It's just a little bit over 6 feet, about 6.5 feet wide. It's about 8 feet tall overall, so you don't have trouble fitting it into spot. You're not going to fit it into your garage probably, but you can definitely fit it outside of the thing. This one's a little bit higher. You can see we've got the larger wheels and the lift package, which allows us, it was important to us, especially with the Subaru, to be able to get a little bit off-road sometimes and kind of boondock out in some of the places we'd be looking for. So let's walk around this way. You can see here we've got the add-on spare tire. It's a full-size spare that matches the rest of the tires. And one of the things that's key to us is you can see that the entire trailer hitch pivots. So if I pull this pin, and obviously if it's not connected to the car, I could then swing that all around. that has a couple of advantages. One, you know, it makes it so that it fits into a smaller area. But two, if I'm walking around here, I'm clumsy. I don't know how many times I've walked into the side of a trailer and just banged my shins. When that's folded back, because of where the tire is, there's no chance you're walking around and there's nothing here to hit because the whole hitch is folded back. Okay, so obviously it's got the ability to you know, raise it up and move it around if you need to. But on all four corners, it has the stabilizer jacks. Again, something we were really looking for. And you can see the propane tank. The propane tank is for the stove, etc. At the inside here. Okay. I'll show you two different sets of windows. These windows are in the front and the back. They are double-paned poly or acrylic, and that means that they're insulated, they're warm, they're waterproof. They also open up pretty easy. We can open it up, close it back down, open it back up again. They're nice and adjustable, and they keep the rain out, so you can get a nice vision. And you can see this is kind of where the kitchen is, so it's a nice view out from the kitchen. And we'll step over the trailer. Looking up at the roof, you can see this is a 100-watt solar panel on the roof, built in, plus a 12-volt air conditioner. Coming around the side, we have our shore panel connection. Plus, this is where we connect it's a built-in connection for it's an additional 200-volt or 200-watt solar panel. Because if you're running the air conditioner, we're running a lot of electricity, the 100 watts not quite enough to keep up with your usage for the day. So when we're boondocking, also if we're parked under a tree, we like to be able to run another solar panel out, stick it out in the sun. We can have the trailer itself someplace nice and cool, and having another 200 watts of solar power here. Coming in, you can see below here, we've got, this is the outlet for the gray water tank. So it's a 17-gallon freshwater tank, a 17-gallon gray water tank. And then this is the input for both the freshwater, so freshwater fill, plus a connection for a quick disconnect where you can connect into the water supply. These windows on the sides are a little bit different. These are what they call the concession windows. These are just designed to be wide open. Just so you can walk under it, you can have a conversation. Our goal was that really, if you're inside the trailer, hanging out or cooking, you're outside the trailer, you're all part of the same thing. We wanted to be living in the outdoors, so we didn't want to have a living room that we took around. We wanted to basically have a place we could sit and live and still be part of the outdoors. Same thing here. This is one of those great features of the whole Happier Camper Studio, is this whole back just opens up. And I can lift it up, grab it, bring it down. And this is just like the lift back on your car, but just much, much bigger. And so you can see it's still got the same window. I can also open this up or bring it back open again. And this just basically gives you another area. You can kind of be out of the rain here, out of the sun, but still be part of the whole living room and the space. Okay, and you can see they're saying again that this is the whole waterproof area. If you were to hose it out, you can just let it drain. The trailer itself will just drain to the outside if needed here. Okay, these are shoe racks. Again, you're sleeping on the bed. You need a place to sometimes put your shoes, or if you're getting in and out here, have a place to put your shoes in the thing. It doesn't need also, you can see, have a trailer hitch. This is where you could attach a storage box or a bicycle rack, which is our plan for it, is the bicycle rack. Right? Continuing around, we've got, this is actually a rain guard. What the purpose of this is like a gutter. If the rain is up here, it runs off, and it runs off the side to keep the rain from coming in. And then this is both a bug screen and a privacy screen. So especially nice if you're sleeping in here, you don't want to be visible to the whole outdoors. You can drop this down. It still lets the breeze in, but keeps people from being able to see in. They do a really good job of storage. Let's bring this down so I can bring it down. But if I bring these down, this is then a great place to put, especially if you're in and you're sitting here, you want a place to put your clothes or your shoes while you're in bed. They've built this storage in. You can see they've also built storage into various other areas. So they built a lot of storage here. And then Happier Campers thing, yes, it's all kind of rounded and boat designed, but they've designed it so that they can fit their storage cubes. And these are the absolute modular part of Happier Camper. Each cube is 20 inches by 20 inches by 20 inches. So at this point, Obviously there are 6 of them here, but they can be rearranged so you can have different formats. And so you can see here, this is designed, currently the 6 is designed as 2 banks, and then we can lower the trailer to make a bed, but we could also shift it around the whole other direction and make it work differently here, right? The cubes come in 2 different styles. These ones here have a lift out so you can get into your camping equipment or your chairs or whatever you want to put in here. The other cubes here are more, this is their standard cube. Happier Camper has cubes that come in everything. They have it's a cooler, you can get one that's a refrigerator, you can see one I'll show you up at the front that's got a couple of drawers. So depending on what you want, you can rearrange it and make it really lay out the way you want it here. This table here is actually part of the internal layout. It becomes part of the queen size bed. It's one of the bases, but there's an extra base that comes along with it. So during the day, you bring it out, you set it up here, and it becomes a nice kind of side table between the 2 chairs. Right. And coming around, you can see again the door. This is the classic Happier Camper window, privacy screen, but they're a round window. But they do a good job of trying to fit storage in wherever you can go. So here, obviously the fire extinguisher, but this is where we tend to throw our shoes or other things that we need to look at. We're really on the lookout for trying to make this our home. So we've started putting a few hooks various places, but we're intending to, for example, put coat hooks, kind of build things in, because you can really start customizing this to be where you want it to be. Coming out here is this is the exterior light. There's 2 modes. The first one is just bright white. The second one is more of a bug light to keep the bugs down. This is while you're driving, this is of course stowed, but this is a ladder to make it easier to get in and out, because it is quite a good lift, quite a big step in order to get into there here. So anyway, let's go on in. I'll just quickly note inside here, I'm 5'9", so this is about a little bit over 6 feet. I've got plenty of headroom. So I mean, if you're really tall, you might have a little bit of problem, but I have absolutely no problem moving around in here. This is the kitchenette. It's a combination of basically the kitchenette and then the utility closet, as I would say it, underneath. So up at the top, we've got a propane stove, 2-burner, lights, it works great. Over here then this is the sink with a built-in cutting board. The sink is connected to the 17-gallon water tank. There's also a 12-volt water heater down below. So if you're connected to shore power, you can use the shore power through the conversion here to the 12-volt in order to get to heat your water. Otherwise, you've got your solar panels, you've got your battery, and we can drive it. Lots of storage up here. This is where we put all of our dishes and so the stove, the pans, things like that. I mean, it is a small trailer, right? So it's a pretty small, the storage is not unlimited. So we've actually looked and found a lot of kind of folding pots and things that were designed for camping just to keep the space down and to really so we can maximize the amount that we fit in here. And you can see it's all this nice fiberglass. It keeps it clean, and that's pretty easy to maintain here. Okay, a lot of the storage here. This is kind of comes in built in, wine rack, things that you're looking for. And then this is the window from an interior point of view. But if I pull down, I get the screen. I can pull up and get a bug screen. So it's actually very flexible, depending on how I want to get it. Separate the two, they just stick with a magnet. And as I said, I can raise this up, close it from so I can close it or open it from the inside pretty easily. Over here we have our electric panel. So this is just standard here for turning on the water, black water, fresh water. These 2 plugs here are off of the, this plug here is off of the inverter. So we have with the battery through a 2,000 watt inverter that we can use to charge it by turning it on. We also have then one that's just directly plugged off of shore power. Throughout, there's a number of places here where you have outlets that are USB. We've asked them specifically to put in USB-C rather than USB. Those are the high-powered USB that'll power a laptop or anything. There's a number of them throughout the place. We can show them. And then, of course, there's the standard 12-volt if you need power here. This is the back of your electric panel. So this is where your fuses are and your breakers. And then this is a built-in drawer, comes out. Again, they're trying to use every little bit of spot they can for storage here. And then just to quickly show you over here, so this is the switches for the refrigerator and the water boiler, so the water heater. This is a really unique little fridge. So it's not a huge fridge, but it's not a huge trailer. Quite enough for a weekend. We go out, we have a couple of drinks and enough food to get us through the weekend here. And this is one of those, I was saying the drawers that are specialty cubes. Right? So this has both drawers, so this is where we'll put our salt and pepper, coffee, tea, etc. Utilities. This one right now has got some wines tucked in it, kind of an essential that we all need, but there's a lot of storage space. One of the really unique things about Happy Your Camper, and Patrick wanted to kind of have me pointed out, is these cubes. You can see these things are loose. They can bolt down, but they are designed to be moved around. And here in a little bit, I'll just show you how we can actually pull them out. Sometimes you pull them out and actually use them out for outdoor seating or move them in and out. Normally we keep this is the bathroom. We'll normally keep the bathroom door shut, but for the demo of the video, we've left it open here. You can see the bathroom's actually fairly good sized. So you can kind of move in. It's a wet bath. So if you come, you can obviously sit on the toilet, but you can then turn around and wash your feet under the sink faucet or the tub faucet here. There's also a shower wand that pulls up, so you can shower off or connect it in here. Not quite tall enough, so it's a little bit uncomfortable, but again, it's a small trailer, and these are the things you come up with. And they put a lot of details in. So for example, you can notice that the toilet paper is fully waterproofed here. There is a vent, so if I open this up, it becomes a fan that I can turn on, or vent or a fan. And even, for example, here, the towel storage is waterproofed, so that you can come in and sit. The toilet itself is it's a standard Thetford cassette toilet, so you can pull it out if you need to, or make it's easy to maintain. Again, we were really looking for things that are easy to use, easy to maintain here. This is the control panel for the charger for the solar panel. So this one itself, as I said, is 100 watts coming off the solar panel on the roof. And then this is the 12-volt air conditioner. Lots of storage. They've taken advantage of these nice kind of rounded areas and then filled them in. So we have more storage here. We found that this works actually perfectly. Just hold a basket, and then you can store your small stuff inside of the basket here. Same thing over on this side. Same, more storage, all kind of built in. Storage here for, of course, our iPad. There's not a television here, but you can see right over here, there's a clip. This is the iPad holder built in. So we can pull our iPad off here, clip it up, and that becomes our television. Okay. There's a USB power built in. So there's USB here. There's also, as I said, some over there. There's some over the two sides of the two banks, and there's actually a USB charger and an electric outlet right in here. So there's power basically wherever you want it and having to do it. The windows are open here, but these are, again, those privacy bug screens that roll down. There are also sunshades or privacy shades. So these pull down or pull back up again, depending on, we like them up and a little bit open here. Okay. As I mentioned, the storage here, these cabinets are, it's useful. You can come in, you can get into these are the standard storage cubes, but you can get into the storage cube from the top. Each storage cube 20 inches, 20 inches, 20 inches, so it's a nice volume of stuff to get into. You can fit a huge amount of storage throughout the 6 cubes that are in here. Despite its small size, it sleeps 2 people, 2 adults comfortably, and we've had up to 6 people in here for dinner. That's to come and sit, especially in the rain, you kind of get out and have a nice evening. So right now it's set up for dining. It's set up for 4 people. You can bring in the other table that's outside. You can see it just screws right into the floor. The tabletop comes across, and now you've got a dinette for 6 people. From a sleeping standpoint, each of these is, because of the modularity here, this can be set up either as a single queen-size bed or a twin-size bed, giving you a little bit of room. To set it up as a twin-size bed, this table, you pull the legs out, it fits into the slots across them, the tabletop drops. These back cushions then come in, they fill in the space. The topper that's over here rolls out to cover the whole thing, and that fits then a twin-size bed. If I bring in the table, bring it into the middle, it fits into the slots, then I can take the other back cushion, fill it in, extend the topper, and now I have a full queen-size bed. One option that we chose not to get here is a heating system. There is an available combination heat and hot water propane system that actually is almost overdriven. It really keeps it nice and warm in here. Wasn't something we needed, so we chose not to get it for this trailer. I did forget to mention that there are Bluetooth speakers. You can see there on the right and left side, and that really, especially with the door open, can nice both internally, or it can put some nice sound out into the neighborhood here.
All right, well, now that Rob's giving you a great detailed tour of all the specifics of the trailer, one thing that was important for me, as I said before, was being able to do solo travel. So first of all, the ability to move the cubes around is really important. So you'll notice that they all have, all of the squares have these inserts for the table legs. And so what that means is when I go to travel solo, I'm going to have the whole entire interior configured differently. And the other thing that's really nice too is I want to be able to move the cubes out. So if I have, if I'm out with my friends or we're enjoying our time outdoors, we may want extra seating. So I just want to show you how easy this is. So first of all, these cushions come off. They're super simple to pull off. They are plastic. This material is washable. It also comes off with this Velcro, which is really nice, and so if it gets dirty. We picked the gray color. It comes in all of colors. You can also custom color the fabric. You can custom color the unit. I mean, they're very flexible in their options. But the cubes themselves are super light. Again, something that I could just do by myself. You pull it out, you bring it out over here to our nice setup, and then we grab the cushion. And I can bring out as many as I want, and then put the cushion on top. Super simple, and it makes a great seating area. So the way we went about getting our camper was, again, reaching out to Rita on Wonderlust.com. She really helped me go through the whole process. There are numerous questions in the sense that I first was looking at the Traveler, and when I started thinking about that solo travel and it being a little bit longer and wanting to do it by myself, then I landed on the Studio. The HC1, which does not have the kitchenette, is still a good option. I think there's a lot of cube variety in there where you can put a kitchenette, you can do a whole bunch of things. And that's what I really liked about Rita. She helped me really think through, like, how am I going to use this camper? When am I going to use it? Is it going to be in New Jersey? I'd love to use it in California. So she really helped me think through what the options were, why I was picking them. And then she was just a great support through the whole system, through the ordering and even the delivery. She was really great.
And I see that you went with, what is that, a teal color for the bottom half? And so they have options. You could just do it all white, or you could have it all one color. Absolutely,
you could do it all white. They have sage green. They have a number of really fun colors to pick from, and you can also custom color. So they have the opportunity, if you want to match it to your car, they can give you, any colors you really want. So we went with the retro color because I was really about the awesome factor, and I felt that this color is so unique, and it's really speaks more to that retro feel than any of the more modern colors.
And one thing I really, really like is your travels change, and you can reconfigure the whole inside, I guess, from the bed, dinette area back, to suit your needs.
Yes.
So if you wanted more refrigerator space, you could buy the refrigerator cube.
Exactly.
If it was, just you camping, you could bring less cubes if you wanted more open space in the floor. There's even tie downs in the floor for a motorcycle. So if you needed to bring a motorcycle, you could do so. And you got plenty of payload. I think there's like 1,500 pounds of payload in here, which is great because that's something you always got to think about. If you're going to put something heavy in the back, you got to make sure the trailer can support it.
Yeah.
I'll put links in the description so our viewers could check over to that website you mentioned. And also put an idea on base price and like average MSRP so they understand what these go for.
Absolutely. Excellent.
Great. Well, this is Patrick with New Jersey's Outdoor Adventures YouTube channel. Thanks for joining us.